Hello everybody and welcome to the second round of the OGRL Coffee Cup here in Season 4. It's time for the Bend Motorsports Park, perhaps the most unknown of the circuits we've got coming up this season, although we do still have some unusual ones that maybe some of the drivers won't be quite as familiar with, like the Portimao circuit in the south of Portugal, or indeed Manicourt as well in France. This is unlike those two circuits, both in terms of how much these guys will know about them and indeed how this circuit races. We'll tell you, of course, a little bit about it as we go along with myself, Ewan O'Leary, and James Parfitt taking you through the action. 35 corners, James, nearly 3 minutes of a lap time. This is a massive, massive undertaking. And normally we see a lot of these drivers waiting quite late to go out and do their lap times. Almost everybody is going to be out there straight away here because the only time this season, the actual time in the session, is going to be a bit of a constraining factor for these drivers in qualifying today.
Yeah, 15 minutes. 15 minutes, 3 minutes a lap. Effectively, with their out lap, that's going to be about 3.5 minutes. They're not going to have a lot of time. They might get a couple of laps in at the most. We're on board now with Will Bailey. This is going to be a very... I don't know how to put this, really, to be honest. With 35 corners on the track, I'm hoping they've gone out and practiced, maybe. And a couple of drivers have got this circuit down, but yeah, it's not the most easiest one, and it is probably, in fact, it is the newest one into iRacing. So, yeah, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go.
And I must admit, I've never actually commentated or indeed watched a race around this circuit at all. So do excuse us for not knowing the corner numbers or indeed where we even are on the circuit, because it's going to be difficult. I think to start us off, though, James, it might be a good idea to maybe start by going on board with Brian Faluna for a lap time when he gets around, obviously. He was one of the big contenders, actually, last week in the opening round of the season. Ended up 5th, but he had a pretty decent race, and I'd imagine he's going to be up there again here. So I'll just wait for him to get round to the start-finish line again before we do a full lap on board. But hopefully it gives us a real sense of how this circuit goes more than anything else. But yeah, expecting big things from Brian Faluna here today, who looked to bounce back from that run. And there you go, that's confusing. That's not the start-finish line, just to... Nope. Just to confuse you even more. That's an alternate start-finish line. Yeah, he'll be expecting at least another top 5, maybe even a bit better here today.
Yeah, we're on the run round. I think it's a turn 27, going in the left-hander of 28, which will then bring us into another left of 29, which is where that is now. James Moore's in YouTube chat. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, dear sir. Through 29 we go. We're going to have a short run down to 30, and then a double right-hander 132, if I'm not mistaken. That's where we are on the race right now.
Yep. We are now ourselves into a well part of this racetrack. So normally, and I'll explain this at the time as well, but there's a couple of more conventional layouts that are more often used, either by going straight on a little bit further after turn 6 and then turning sharp right. That gets you out into, that's a real short circuit. V8 Supercars, for example, go right after turn 8. So yes, I'll point those out as well as we start to go on board here with Brian Faluna at the start-finish line and on to the start of another lap. Up into 6th gear, reaching terminal velocity up here, the longest straight on the circuit on the front straight. Now through that pit exit line, which people are going to have to be careful of in the race, through the first sector, or indeed this first chicane, I should say. This is a difficult part of the racetrack, especially on the opening lap. Slow speed as well. Incidents can certainly happen around here, but this is where the overtakes might well happen in the race. Now up the gears, ready for turn 5. Very committed left-hander. You're just teetering on the edge of the throttle there before pretty much immediately on the brakes down here at turn number 6. As I was pointing out, there's where you go right on the shortest layout that is conventionally used around this circuit there at turn 6. Now through turns 7 and 8. This turns into a triple right-hander for V8 Supercars Racing as they continue on going right again, if you can see that little track there. The cones are there, though. We go straight on down into the hairpin at turn 9. An open long flowing hairpin, and now we get to the bit of elevation change you get on this circuit. There's turn 10, brief left-hander. Turn 11, clip the curb there. It's another long hairpin though. Effectively make turn 11 and 12, which is there, into one long right-hander. Now the right-hander continues as turn 13 and 14, not really a corner as you get through 15 there, that slight bend in the road. Now 16, proper chicane here, leading into 17, which extends into two parts at 18, then really sort of slalom ski style through the middle part of this lap. Now this is the longer right-hander again at turn 21, and then 22, which you really want to open out because there's a bit of a straight coming up next up. Finally, a bit of exit speed required, and maybe a slight overtaking chance down here as well, although it would only be a half chance. It's a real tight hairpin down here at 23 rather. Then 24, the alternative pit lane layout here for the completely alternate circuit. This is almost disconnected from the rest of the lap almost. Now the triple right-hander, 25, 26, 27, still going. And it really sharpens at the very end, almost like a rally sort of stage there. Now through the 28, 29. This is where we rejoin the conventional V8 Supercars racetrack on one of their longest straights that is used on that circuit. We go out to the other side of the road though, and look at the extra space given there for a nice fast exit coming towards quite a fast part of the end of the lap here. This is turn 30. Fast right-hander, up third gear again for Luna. Now down on the brakes again, ready for 31, which is not much exit required here. You're setting yourself up for 32, where you do need an exit. And finally, there's a little bit of straight where you can just open the taps a little bit now and accelerate towards those final couple of corners. 33 doesn't matter. 34 down on the brakes, very sharp actually, this right-hander as you come through. Now on the straight again towards the final turn of the racetrack. That is turn 35. That is a lap at the Ben Motorsports Park. What an ordeal that is for all these drivers this afternoon.
Oh, mate, I feel tired just sitting there looking at it. I don't think I could do this race. It's been too long for me. Too many things to try and remember. But, yeah, a couple of these guys doing great out on the racetrack at the moment. Hayden Young is also out on the circuit. But Faluna, Venroy, Bailey, Dusvas, and Takax is out there as well. And let's see how they all get on. A few more times coming in. Put out Hanalei, one that's on their way in. But so many people have at some point been off the track here. It's, yeah, very interesting.
It is. And as I said, everybody rushing out to get onto the circuit. Only Nicholas Marshall and Julian Race are not on the circuit at the moment. This is Young completing his first lap time of the day. Where's he going to get to? Third place. But expect these lap times to improve along the way. Having said that, there's a 3-minute warm-up lap, obviously, with the out lap here. So maybe it won't be so bad. Up, William Bailey goes to 4th. Adam Hansen now about to come across the line alongside Bradley Tidwell and Curtis Matthews as well. Heath Hollinger not far away from the end of the first lap. Michael Vester as well. Bradley Loving's a little bit further down. Unfortunately, no Alfie Nichols here today. He normally leaves it late, but well, there's not much chance to leave it late today. And in any case, he's not here, which is a bit of a shame after his very, very near miss with the race win at Mid-Ohio last week. And what a finish it was to the opening race of the season as well.
Yeah, it was an absolute blinder, to be blatantly honest with you, last weekend as well at Mid-Ohio. If you haven't watched it back, you should definitely go and watch it. It's going to be amazing there as well. Lewis back in YouTube chat once again. Thanks so much for joining us here once more. Yeah, it was a good race, Mid-Ohio. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it back because it will be absolutely amazing. How do we think this is going to go? Realistically, how do we think a 35-corner racetrack is going to go here?
I think it's going to be very difficult to overtake, but the amount of mistakes is going to make this race interesting, personally, because, you know, people are just not going to know their way around.
No. I hope they've allowed the racing line here.
Can't have the racing line. Come on, then.
That's what I would need.
Don't
I could do this. Dude, I could not. It's really weird, actually, because around Nords, I remember Nords. You know what I mean? But we're there
but
for blinking.
more iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, where this is just not. I'd end up going right at turn 6 or right at turn 9 or something and just getting it all wrong.
See, I actually really like... I really like that layout of going right at turn 6. I think that's a great layout, actually. You know, for a new circuit, which often can lack character, and I think this the extended version of this circuit is probably taking it far too long, to be honest with you. But anyway, Brian Faluna goes over the line, by the way. He goes to the top. Ben Roy tries to chase him, and he's still 6 tenths behind. Those two are going to be the big ones to watch here this time around. In the Acura this season, of course, Vemroy, which I'm still getting used to. Not much purple going to appear on the bottom of your screen, but we'll talk about it if there is going to be any down the bottom in the next few moments. But yeah, as I say, I think the going right at turn 6 is a real good layout. Just a little bit longer before a sharper right-hander gives a big overtaking opportunity down there at what would be turn 6. Then you've got a little bit of a more technical section through 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, sharp braking zone turn 11 before turn 12. The lap time, admittedly, would only be just over a minute. But, be really exciting to watch, I think. Especially, maybe not in GT3s, to be fair, but especially in V8 supercars or whatever. I don't know why V8 supercars go out on a longer layout that really doesn't suit their cars. They've got a great layout that suits them perfectly there. Just over a minute lap time's perfect for V8 supercars, but they don't use it.
I reckon little F4s would be good there as well.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Give it time to work on. Bradley Lovins here in the, obviously, in the Lamborghini. So he's on the racetrack at the moment. 35 corners will likely lend itself to accordion effect of field as folks find best lines in traffic. Lewis coming in with a very deep question there for a Sunday afternoon. I've got to be honest.
It's a comment.
Statement.
Yeah, statement, yeah.
Okay, very deep statement there from Lewis.
It is going to really stretch out the field, this circuit. I mean, look at the spread in lap times here. It's normally a series where we're commenting on just how close it is, but we're just not going to be able to do that here in this qualified session because the times are just astronomically different across the board. This is Bradley Lovins, though, making his way through the end of the lap. Brian Dukowski is yet to set a lap time as well, just up in front of him here by about 15 seconds or so. Dukowski will work his way over the line now and hopefully get onto the board. We've only got 20 so far, but we've got nearly 30 in the field, so plenty still to come. Dukowski goes to 18th position with that lap time there. And what about Bradley Lovins as he works his way over the line for the end of his second lap time? One more still to go, and he's going to need to improve. Only 8th place, and it was his qualifying that undid him last week, don't forget.
It definitely was. Left him in that middle of the field pack, and it just didn't go through very well for them as well. Tarina's in YouTube, here for Price as always. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I just think that if they don't allow the racing line, which is fine, okay, some leagues do, some leagues don't. If they don't allow the racing line, I am a little bit concerned. I got a funny feeling we could have a few people going in a different direction and, making mistakes because we're 9 seconds from the leader. Faluna has just got it improved again, down to 22nd place. 9 seconds is massive. That's the thing. And yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping they all stay together, but it could be a Nord situation where they're all very spread out and me and you are just chatting about what we're going to have for Sunday dinner.
Yeah, well, not Sunday dinner is the answer to that.
You're not going to
the race is only going to be... I don't really like it, to be honest with you. It's meh.
That's going to mess up that lap for Ollinger.
That is, yes. That'll be an off-track, which I'd imagine are quite easy to get around here as well. One of the things I do appreciate about this circuit, actually, is they've not tarmacked it all over, which is sometimes a problem with the new circuits, as Probert goes a little bit quicker to third. But nobody's going to touch Brian Faluna in this one. 2:51.7 is the time, and that's probably not going to be beaten by anybody. We'll see if Bradley Lovins can do anything. Tidwell's not going to, although he may well take pole in Pro-Am. In fact, I'm pretty sure he will do. He's got nearly 2 seconds over the next fastest driver who's still out there, which is Kenton Price, who's currently in 10th. There goes Tidwell. And he does move up, actually, ahead of Aidan Young. So it's a good lap from Tidwell. But that's the pole in the Pro-Ams from him. Last week's Pro-Am winner was Quentin Price, 7th place overall, as Tidwell struggled at the opening race of the season. Was he even there? Don't remember. He wasn't in the top 20 anyway, because I've got that in front of me. But yeah, it's a good start for Tidwell to this session anyway, as we follow Quentin Price. There he is, Prime winner from last time. Just a minute to go and just tipping a wheel on the grass there as well.
Yeah, it's gonna, unfortunately, once you start doing that though, you are going to be in trouble. Ooh, Tidwell got a slide on. Once you start sort of dipping the wheel on the grass, you are that's your qualifying lap over and done with, of course. So yeah, he's gonna have to come back with something else to try and see what he's able to do. And well, it ain't gonna matter because he ain't gonna get no time whatsoever. I don't think Tidwell's gonna get this time to finish his lap, which he didn't. Lovin's still out on the racetrack, looking for an improvement. Moves up to 6. Better.
Absolutely better than what he's managed previous. So good news there for Bradley Lovings after that qualifying session, and he's pretty much the last man to complete his lap time as well here in this session. So oh no, sorry, Cody Bont's got through as well. We're into ninth place just at the very end there. Tom Bryce is just going to run out of time. Julian Race gets over the line. Does he get there in time? Does he get any sort of lap time? Didn't look like it there, and so only 23 guys have got a lateral lap time in, and we will now go forward to warm up ahead of this qualified session and you know this race. And normally you say that, well, warm up doesn't really matter very much because well, they've just been out for qualifying, so what's the point? But I'd say for this circuit, especially for those who haven't practiced quite as much as maybe they would have wanted or what they've been able to, they will definitely need it around this circuit. There's no doubt about that.
Quick question. Full pace lap? Or where's the half one going to start from?
Surely the half one would start from that other pit lane.
I would have
before
thought
turn
so.
25.
Maybe. Lewis, there is no age limit. It's just called the Old Guys Racing League. You don't have to be 40 or above. We got people in here that are a lot younger, mate. You know what I mean? How the commentator's younger than that. Who's poor Mr. O'Leary. You know what I mean? He ain't long been out of school, so you don't really need to worry about how old you are.
4 years.
Me, I've been out of school for a lot longer than that. So there we go. Yeah, so there ain't no age limit, dude. Yeah, I do wonder what they're going to do, because I don't know if you can set a half pace lap yet on this. Can you? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it. Every event I've seen has been the short layout and has only had standing starts, I think. I don't even know, Captain. We're going to find out anyway. This is going to be new to all of us. If this is a full pace lap, right, go and have a snooze.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. I'm just going to sleep.
It would take 6 minutes.
Yeah. We can talk about what's going on in the football later.
Okay, is there football later?
Oh, Mr. O'Leary.
Oh, yeah, there is football later. Yeah, sorry.
Lionesses in the European final.
Completely forgot about that. Yeah, sorry.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's kicking off about 5 p.m. if anybody wants to wander and watch it.
If the pace lap's finished by then, we can watch it.
We could be just going We're just going to be going round and round. Oh, Yambag. Who is Yambag Johnson? It's full, I think. Oh, God, no. Dude, don't say that. Come on.
What's full? Oh, no, the pace lap. Oh, God. Or is he saying the league's full to Lewis?
No, I don't. Hold on, I'm going to look now and see if I can get in see if I can find it. See if I can have a look in there and see if it is a. Oh, I don't think I'm not quite admin access to their league, so. I don't think.
Good evening or good morning, by the way, to I should say to Billy Backer, who's put himself in YouTube chat. Says good morning. Decided to sleep in. I learned the track quickly, but it's tough. Lots of blind stuff in there. It's yeah, there is. And, fair play for putting in the work and then not turning up into the race. I mean,
Bill.
You know, I understand if you hadn't done any laps and then you've not turned up, but yeah, there we go.
He just doesn't turn up. He doesn't turn up there as well. Simply Racing, morning to you over there, lads. Love a bit of bend action. Well, you might not in about a minute and a half when we got a 6 minute pace lap. So let's hope there as well. That doesn't happen. Old is a state of being. Just be cool. Yeah, that's true. See, I'm cool because I'm old.
I don't think that's what he's saying. I don't think he's saying old people.
Old people are cool. We are. We don't smell. We don't. We don't do anything. We're just cool. Hey,
well, say first. That's the first description.
Yeah, some people do. Some old people do. I don't. I'm fine, honestly. Some smell, to be fair. See, Yambag agree with me. Fair play to him. Oh dear.
Thanks for that.
What a thing to
Anyway,
talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we're not talking about the F1 because we're not watching it.
No, so please don't.
Yeah, I would rather you didn't spoil the F1, to be honest. But inevitably, I am going to find out the result before I get around to watching it anyway, because that happens every single weekend.
No,
so,
you stay off all social media. Stay off everything. I don't. When the F1's on, don't look at my phone. I don't look at nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't look at social media now anyway. But I you know, stuff pops up on my laptop with the news, and you know, I'm on the internet still, so
Well,
I just inevitably find out.
Get off the internet. Watch the football.
I work on the internet.
Well, yeah, this is it. I'm going to pin this message now. Yeah, no F1 spoilers. I've just pinned it in YouTube chat. Right. Well, then just don't. You're not on it. When are you next on?
Don't work.
Don't work. When are you next on the internet? After this?
No, I'm not actually, but
well, there you go, then.
today will be okay. But I'm just saying, every other day. Normally, I'm working Sunday afternoon. I'll find out the result before I get around to watching it. But you know, I'm not that hurt about it, to be honest. I'm not too disappointed. Anyway, let's have a look at the starting grid then, shall we? For this race, as we've chatted our way through warm-up. Oh, it is a short formation lap. There you go, on the alternative pit straight. There you are. Brian Faluna will take his place on the pole then, ahead of David Van Roy, who challenged the race winner, Tim Probert, so much last week. Probert starts third this time round, with Bradley Tidwell in fourth place. Good qualifying there from the Pro-Am pole sitter, ahead of Hayden Young and Bradley Lovings on row 3. Adam Hansen and Alexander Claudio are then on row 4, the first of the Pro-Am rows, all Pro-Am rows. Paddy Bont and Dustin Dosvase round out the top 10, ahead of Quentin Price and Will Bailey. Already over 5 seconds off of pole for Pernod Haddock, with Jeff Atkins alongside. John Gardner has taken the pole in the AMS. 15th place for him, ahead of Brian Dukowski. Heath Ollinger and Curtis Matthews make up the first all-AM row on row 9. Tom Bryce and Michael Vester round out the top 20, ahead of Jim Sawyer and Greg Tax, with Rick Modric and Julian Race on row 12. Race didn't qualify, neither did Nicholas Marshall, Scott Carlson or Peter Castelline. I'm still going with. He's not corrected us, so that's what I'm going with. Pit lane start for Will Bailey. That's the gap you can see there on the outside row, just in front of that McLaren further down. So he's starting for pit lane. Hopefully William Bailey will, hopefully Scott Carlson will start the race as well. He's in pit lane at least, so he will be taking a pit lane start. Might not be the worst idea at this circuit, considering the first few corners.
No, definitely not as well. I'd like to point out, even half a pace lap's still going to take like 3 minutes. Like, going to take it. We're still going to be going. Just to let you know.
No, we started. No, there's 11 corners at this pace. Like, out of 35, we're doing a third of a lap barely.
Okay, so I've got a minute and a bit. There you go. There we go. I love Lewis's definition in YouTube chat. I'm in the 40-plus category, so feel qualified. Probably enjoy Werther's Originals enough to be an old guy. Oh, I love the Werther's Originals advert. I don't know if anybody remembers that from back in the day.
I don't. No, I don't.
Gives Grandpa a Werther's. Little boy. No. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember if Grandpa gave him the Werther's, but there we go. Either way, somebody gets the Werther's Originals in an advert. It's quite cool. You should watch it. Find out. Have a look. Anyway,
I'll leave that there. As they bring themselves towards the start-finish line, we'll get underway in a moment, and yeah, a couple of corners to go. So first of all, 34, pretty tight right-hander. Wasn't sure whether that's going to be a real overtaking, whether there's going to be some real overtaking chances there or not. And then turn 35, where there certainly won't be, but it'll be interesting nevertheless to see what run he can get out of there to go towards turn number 1. Well, this is the voyage of discovery for everybody, I think. The OGRL Coffee Cup Season 4 visits the Bend Motorsports Park for the very first time. And it's Brian Faluna who gets on the front and gets us underway. Doesn't do much waiting around before getting this race started. Tim Probert allowed that bit of space actually on the inside to try and have a go at David Van Roy here maybe. Brad Tidwell on the outside as well as they come down towards the first chicane. Oh, Hayden Young dive down the inside, and there's carnage in the background. One of the McLarens goes into a spin, and there's a Mercedes around as well. John Gardner, the AM pole sitter, goes for a spin already. Curtis Matthews is leading, but I think he's got a meatball flag in 13th. I think there's a lot of drivers with some damage down the back end of the field.
Yeah, there's been a lot of dramas. A lot of dramas at the moment. You have to bear with us here. Vesta's been off the side of the circuit at the same time. There has been a lot of issues for a couple of people. Vesta, Reese, Tidwell, Modric, Sawyer, Gardner, Bryce. They've all gone one way. They've all gone off the side of the circuit. I think some of them have got away with it, but I've got a funny feeling others haven't.
Absolutely. Who's left at the front of the AM class at the end of all of those pit stops that are going to happen in the next few moments? We'll have a look back at what happened down in towards turn number 1, because as they go through this middle sector, we're not going to miss too much. Pride Faluna leading this race. He's certainly put the laps in, hasn't he? It's pretty clear that he's got himself accustomed to this circuit, because he's looking very, very strong as they come through this slalom section, if you like. Proper narrow through there. 18, 19, then into 20. But look at the way they're extending their advantage over the rest. Adam Hansen's leading, by the way, in the Pro-Ams at the moment. Tidwell's dropped down the field. Will Bailey's not started this race for some reason. And it's been up to Hansen to move up to 5th place, and he's now leading. But look at the gap there, back behind. He's got a bit of a train behind him. Bradley Loving's first in the queue down there.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be that's going to be the situation for quite a while. I think, as we said, it could be very follow my leader here until what time we can get this back up and running again properly. I think, you know, with Faluna out front, then Ben Roy, Probert, Young, Hansen again, Lovins, DeVace, Alexander Claudio, Cody Bont, Quinton Price, Padel Hanalei. A lot of things still to take shape here at the same time. So unfortunately, we will have a look back at that start line very, very shortly after we find out what went on here at the same time. Lots of drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Hansen, though, has benefited from it in the Pro-Am class, and he now leads. This is further down the back of the pack. So there's a couple of separate things going on here. Oh, wow. Somebody came steaming in there in a McLaren, and a different McLaren went into a spin. Tax comes to a complete stop almost to try and avoid. Who was that steaming through? We saw John Gardner at the time go for his own spin. I think he did this on his own, in fairness, as somehow that McLaren missed everybody. But yeah, Gardner just spins on his own.
Yeah, there was, unfortunately for him. There was some more going on as well. It's really weird. There was quite a lot of... I want to know who that is. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen, because you lot can't see it. But there is somebody who just goes storming through like an absolute banshee. I don't know who. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yep. Castelline straight through the middle. Misses everything, and then unfortunately goes off. So we've got Gardner, Marshall, Sawyer. No, Sawyer, Gardner and Marshall in pit lane. So they're in pit lane. Faluna's out in front. He's leaving Ben Roy to have a battle with Tim Probert here as these guys carry on. And then you've got Brad Lovins, Hansen, DeVos, Bont, Claudio and Quinton Price continuing to have a good old little bit of a ding-dong.
So Lovings has actually just got past Hansen there, because that's Hansen was leading the group earlier. But this is what's likely to happen now. There's likely to be groups on the road where the slower drivers, look at that, 7 seconds running on lap 2. 7-second gap between 4th and 5th, and that's without any crashes or whatever. Hansen's going to really be in the cork in the cork in the bottle here for a long time in this group, I think, and that's a problem for those stuck behind. Dos Vase is next in line, and that'll be a battle for the Pro-Am lead. So defence already thrown there. Oh, on the brakes, and Dos Vase very tight to the outside there through 23, and he can't quite get through. This is the alternative pit straight now, where Bont is actually very close as well. Coming down to 25, another sharp hairpin through here, or not sharp hairpin, sorry, a more open hairpin through here at 25. Hansen under pressure, but showing that around this back part of the circuit, it is possible to make overtakes.
He's having a good old go at him. Bit worried he's got a little Porsche, Cody Bont, closing in behind him at the moment. So Bont is putting these guys under pressure at the same time. I think this is going to be a very interesting development on pit stops here. I wonder who's going to pull what. Who's going to do what in conjunction with, are you going to undercut, overcut? What's going to happen as Dos Vase and Hansen go round the left-hander on 31 through 32? And I think Dosface might get him here.
Yeah, I think he's going to get him at some point. Hansen seems to be living on borrowed time already. We're only on lap 2, but he is struggling here to keep these guys behind. You can see it the way that Lovings has just driven away here in that 5th position. Lovings, I think, is about to have a very lonely race, unfortunately for him, but Dosface is going to try and join him here, keep him company, because he's pretty close in behind now as he makes his way onto the front straight, right in the slipstream of that BMW, and surely there's going to be a chance here down in towards turn number 1. He seems to be close enough anyway. Picks to the inside. He's got space. No, he doesn't have the braking quite. And Hansen holds on for another lap here. And the longer he can do this for, the better it will be for his race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you are right. Hansen needs to hang on for there as long as possible if he can. That will really, really begin to develop him and show what his defensive prowess is. As we say that, Dosface is looking up the inside. Nope. Not there either. Dosface has got to... If he's fuel saving, great. If you got to go for it, you're just going to have to send it on him, because otherwise you're going to be sat there for a while. This is the closest battle on the racetrack. This is 6th all the way down to 12th. Then we've got Ollinger and Matthews batting it out for the lead of the AMs at the moment. That could be quite an interesting one to have a little follow along with there as well. Lewis Peter Castellane going for the send at the bend with the lap 1 turn 1.
Nice.
I like that title.
That's good. Matthews, though, still applying that pressure to Ollinger, the leading battle in the AM class. Also, obviously a leading... Oh, and that's a bit wide. Oh, he's got away with it, though, Matthews. Just having dipped a couple of wheels onto the grass on the outside. Bradley Tidwell closing in very quickly on these guys as well, though. And after his issues through lap 1, he has got to work his way through the traffic as quickly as he can.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out. I think this is his... Did he get hit here from Lovins in behind? Oh no, it's that BMW. Wow. That was Hansen, wasn't it? He just absolutely sent him round. Yeah, it was. Fortunately for Tidwell, come together with Hansen. But Vesta went off. Julian Rees has been off at the same time. So lots of people struggling. Michael Vesta is definitely struggling.
Absolutely. Well, let's see here as Bont defends from Alexander Claudio in that Corvette. We've got so many different manufacturers, by the way, at the top of Pro-Am at the moment. BMW, Ferrari, Porsche, Corvette, Lamborghini, Acura and McLaren at the front of the class. It's great to see. There's so much variety through the field. As Claudio again has a look at Cody Bont, forced him a little bit wide actually through 31. Can't quite get past though, and it's creating a gap out front. Hansen no longer the cork in the bottle for absolutely everybody. Instead, this has got a little bit more complicated. Cody Bont now is the one in the way. Yeah.
Bont there for putting up a good old go with Claudio. Claudio's got to try and make his way forward if he can. I don't know if fuel saving would be best here. Is it really good? Can you really save a lap of fuel over 3 minutes?
I wouldn't have said you can save a lap, no. But
you
can save some time though in the pit lane. If you save a bit of fuel, you can take less fuel. So say that a lap is 6 litres. I don't know if it is or not, but say that it is. You could maybe take 2 of those. Take 4 of those litres out, for example, and still do the same amount of laps. But you're shortening your pit stop by a number of litres. That is possible, definitely, around any circuit, and certainly more around here. Hansen on the defensive from Dustin Dosface there, who had a look down the inside at turn 6. Hansen goes wide in defence. He's on the inside for the next 2 right-handers, but they're flat out, and it gives way to another left-hander coming up next. They won't be flat out while they're side by side, by the way, and they give each other room. Inside line in time for the next left-hander. Here for Dustin Dosface, who's challenging for the Pro-Am lead. Still they go. He's got to get it done before this long right-hander. Now next hairpin. And Hansen keeps the place. That was the biggest challenge so far in the first 10 minutes he's had to his lead. Yeah,
Dosface put him under pressure there. That was in the run through 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, as we're now up at the top part of this long circuit. But Hansen definitely showed him that he was going to hold on to him through 18, 19, 20. And at the moment, Dosface is not getting past. Hansen putting up a good old fight at the moment. He's got his gloves on, and he's going for it round by round here with Dosface.
He's properly challenging at the moment. Oh, there's another bit of defence into 23 there from Hansen. Face can get it, and that's where he got side by side, by the way, Face earlier on lap 1. What was it, lap 2? Certainly earlier on he was challenging Hansen a bit more. The gaps continue to extend to those further out front. The gap now 20 seconds, by the way, after just 10 minutes or so. They're not going to get lapped here, these guys, or at least not these guys at the front. Not going to get lapped anyway. They're just going to have to continue on and run their own race here, unbothered about what's happening out front. But look at this all the way down the prime field. This is what happened to Curtis Matthews, who's been dropping down. Heath Hollinger is now the AM leader. And Matthews has spun coming out of that final corner of the... Oh, and he's clipped his rear wing off as well. Heath Hollinger leads comfortably now in the AM class.
Yeah, that was turns 23 and 24 where he had that drama, and now he's fighting that car with no rear wing, trying to get it back to the pit lane at the moment, Curtis Matthews. But that has left this battle in the middle. It's the only battle on the racetrack that we've got to follow along with us. It's the 2:52.978 from David Van Rooij. Closing in 2:53.47 for Faluna, so it was half a second quicker than Roy that time around.
Yeah, that's good news for David Van Rooij. If he can keep that up, then he'll be challenging for the race lead, and we might see these fluctuations now as people learn the circuit, get better. Might see the gaps just waver around a little bit over the course of the day. I'll say it's been an interesting race so far. As I said at the top of the show, I've never seen a race around here, commentated on one or just watched one myself. And looking at the layout, I was a bit fearful that it was going to be too difficult to overtake, but that's not been the case so far. The battle for the Pram lead has been very good so far, and Face continues to apply the pressure to Hansen.
Yeah, I think that's the thing here. The Pro-Ams are really showing their stuff. The pros are quite spread out. You can see on the left-hand side, 1 to 5 is all pros, and they're all fairly quite far away from each other. Hansen keeps running that wide line. Face keeps taking the tighter line, and he's trying to squeeze through here, but not being able to make it on board with him at the moment. Through the long looping right-hander, and Face still not quite able to get there, even though he is really closing in on Hansen. He just can't make that move.
No, not yet. But the pit stop is where it gets really interesting. That's why it's so good to have in this series. Even if you're stuck behind, and there will be circuits where that's the case this season, then you can get through on strategy maybe. This is going to be a big feature 2 weeks' time, by the way. We're at Belle Isle on the streets of Detroit, and that is going to be one of those circuits where it's even more difficult to overtake round here, perhaps. Let's see, though. What did feature in Season 2, of course, but this circuit very much did not. Only just added into the iRacing service.
Not long ago, literally. Not long ago this season. This season,
yeah, we're just 6 weeks in, aren't we? So yeah.
Barely 6 weeks ago. Halfway through already. Blimey.
I know. We'll get a new patch note soon. Of a new TCR.
No.
I don't know.
Don't get me excited.
I was joking.
I thought there was actually a big TCR coming. No.
Oh dear.
Oh well. We'll just keep going with the American ones. I'll just keep enjoying the Friday night virtuals that we do with the BTCC cards. I'll just keep enjoying them for now.
That's all we've got. If you're a fan of TCRs, so it's slim pickings. Picture price still top 10. Perno Hano, you can see here the Pro-Am battle just starting to splinter now because of the pace at the front of the group is just increasing. Hansen now with more than a second. Hansen's actually bringing Lovings back again. So what I said earlier on about, and there's a personal best, 56.1, takes half a second out of Lovings. What I said earlier on about the gaps fluctuating, this is what I mean. Hansen clearly is learning on the job a little bit here, and over the course of 15 minutes he's got quicker because he's starting to drop those guys behind and he's leaving these guys at the back of the group scrambling for places. Quentin Price battling with the others over the last place inside the top 10.
Yeah, he's there with Jeff Atkins, Panoa Hano at the moment. These guys freeway over to fight Lewis. New CCR, don't toy with us, he said in YouTube chat. I guess I'm not the only one who's waiting for a new TCR. That would be absolutely amazing. But let's see what goes on with these three. Oh, dude, he's closing.
Oh no! Gotta say, he was alongside for a long time there, Jeff Atkins. Let's see this from off board, whether I change my mind or not. But he's looking down the inside.
Different
He's
line.
making it clear. I mean, for me, he's absolutely there. I don't know. I think he's made that very clear. He's coming down the inside there. Yeah, this is the camera angle we need. Let's see. I mean, he's made it clear. He's on the apex. He can't go any further.
Is that? Do you know what? It's that Kota turn 1 corner, isn't it? Where there's so many different lines going into it that if you're running it wide and they just, you get alongside, you can't see them unless you're going to flick or turn your head or VR, whatever, and you are going to be in trouble. So, yeah, I think, I'm not quite sure how that one's going to work out, to be honest. I think that could be the fact that Atkins was alongside.
I think he was, personally, but we'll see if there's any complaints about that later. Alexander Claudio gets close to Cody Bont again for 3rd place in the Prime class, and it's starting to become our only battles now on the circuit as we approach the end of the first 20 minutes here and fast approach half distance in about 10 minutes' time. The leaders in the Prime class just upping the pace and starting to stretch it out among themselves. Justin Dustface staying with Hansen, keeping him honest, but he's nowhere near close enough for making any moves at the moment. So this is always going to happen now in this race. You said it's a slight Nordschleife effect. The same kind of thing is happening at the moment. Oh, for a spin in the background for Quentin Price. He was holding on to his top 10 through proper defending earlier. Now he's just lost it through a solo spin.
Yeah, coming into the left-hander. He's already on the grass. Under the curb, just too quick. Can't get that stopped. And round he goes in the back round for Quentin Price. So unfortunately for him, that is the end of that. So no real sort of battles to talk about at the moment. Bradley Tidwell is trying to get onto the back and put out Hanno. Love of BTC's league. A set of course that gives the Super Tourers and current BTC cars, thank goodness. We do. Are you in the Friday one that we got? What's the virtual circuit racing? You should go and check that out. They do touring cars. Their new season's coming up. They're doing the Audi R3. Audi R3? LMS?
RS3.
RS3 LMS as well. So that's going to be fun on a Friday night if you want to get yourself involved. That's a set of Corsa, of course.
A little bit different, something a little bit different. So these guys come down in towards turn 1. Should say, of course, as well, since we're on OGRL here, that racing almost pretty much every night here in this league as well. OGRL, if you want to join, the Discord is available to join, and yeah, there's plenty of leagues going on from the week, and it's well worth joining in as Tidwell comes down the inside of Berto Hanno. He tries to regain some of these places from losing them earlier on, and of course Hanno will be slightly scarred by the fact that there was contact earlier on between himself and Atkins, and he did give the space that time. Yeah, he did. He gave the space that way. That time he basically did see Tidwell alongside him. He didn't see Atkins, so it's interesting how to go on that one. But yeah, if you do want to get yourselves in OGRL, links in the description below. They do racing pretty much every night apart from Sunday. Friday. There's a night they have on Friday. They have a night off on Friday. But every other night there is racing going on, so you can go and check them out at the same time. Atkins is just behind Hanley again. And Atkins has got Tidwell closing in. So an AM fight here. The AM's definitely putting on the show for us this afternoon. Thank God for that. Otherwise, they would just be driving around. Well, exactly. As Cody Bont now has to defend from Alexander Claudio. Again, the gaps fluctuating across the course of the day. That's always to be expected around this circuit as they come through the back half of the circuit. Now get up back onto the more familiar part. Here it is through the left-handers of turn 28 and 29. And there's that extra bit of space on the outside of that corner there. I've always wondered on the other layouts what that's there for, because it's not needed on the other layouts, but it is for this one, so that's the answer. Tidwell gets past Atkins meantime in the background. Oh, and Atkins might have been off. Now, was he pushed or did he spin on his own here? Tidwell's right in behind him and he's almost getting an exit. Is there contact? There's a look. Oh, no. And he gets in the mirrors, puts him off. Yeah, he missed his braking point there, Atkins. I think he just got
he got put off by Tidwell climbing all over him. I think that's the only thing he did manage to do there. Just scared him into making a mistake on that one. The OGRL have just posted everything that they've got going on. So if you do want to get yourselves involved, have a look at that message. There is lots happening here as well, as Claudio still chases down, stares at the yellow and black of Bont. Now, we were talking about this previously, and we've spoke about it in other broadcasts. How, you know, do you think Claudio's getting frustrated? Do you think he's fuel saving? Because sooner or later, he's going to have enough of that yellow and black in here and just go and send it on him.
Oh, he's going to have to at some point, I seem to think, because this can't go on forever by any means, as he now brings himself in towards the big braking zone of turn 6. He doesn't go for it, but yeah, it's that kind of opportunity down there. He's got a little peak down the inside, but, you know, he thought against it that time round. I think in the future, he is going to, later on the race, he will certainly, in that kind of opportunity, brake late and try and go through.
Yeah, he's got to have a go. I think that's the thing. He doesn't want to get sat there for ages. Because if he's sat there for ages, he's got to have a go. And he's got to make sure that he can get through on him. I do wonder... I am wondering something, if he's just broke that car.
Hey, it does have that black box next to him.
Yeah, there was an update come out in SDK, and that basically shows whether or not they've got a meatball. As well. I know the testers have been testing it for ages, but I'm just wondering if that could be why it's not showing up. It's because it's a meatball.
Yeah, the orange disc isn't there.
Yeah.
That normally would be. Or the for that car.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Ah, Hansen's off. Hansen's off from the... Oh, there he is! On the inside of turn 25. Not only does he lose the lead, he loses his podium place as well. What a disaster for Adam Hansen. He comes past the alternative pit layout. He goes wide. Oh, he grabs the curb and he spins to the inside.
Yeah, Hansen now all on his own. Just lost the lead of the Pro-Ams now, Device, Bont and Claudio. And Hansen there now down 4th in class at the moment. And is trying to chase up the guys back up front again. So, unfortunately for him, let's see whether or not he can make it through. But that's left Claudio and Bont to fight it out. But Dos Face now looking more comfortable.
Sorry, I've just been talking to myself on mute.
Yes.
Just to Dos Face though, is he's in a nice lead now. It's a nice gap, 2.5 seconds. So he'll look to hold that now, especially with Bont and Claudio actually battling away, 2nd and 3rd. That is a good place to be. Claudio looks to the outside, doesn't go for the move this time around. He stays exactly where he is in the in that one, and yeah, again. He's going to be a bit more aggressive as this race goes on. And you get the feeling, actually, that the time for aggression is actually approaching very quickly here, because there's only half an hour left. If he wants to win, he needs to get through with enough time to catch Dos Face before the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. He's got to make sure for Bont and Claudio that they're even not fighting, or they've got to try and stay away from Hansen. As you say, Hansen's on his way back through, and at the moment he's trying to get up to the back of Claudio. But how long is it before he has a go at Claudio? And is he going to basically have a go at him in conjunction with that? So yeah, it's going to be interesting, because if he gets stuck in with Claudio and Bont, he might not reach Dos Face.
No, maybe not. But let's see here. He's still got a little bit of time on his side, nearly half an hour to go. As we saw last week, the pit window is relatively wide here, so there's plenty of chance to actually come into the pit lane and just take that little bit of fuel required to get to the end. And actually, I don't know this, but around this kind of a circuit, you would imagine that there's not much fuel being burnt at any one given time, because there's so many corners and all sorts. So I wonder whether they really might be able to go very deep here, as Claudio has to really slow up. Not sure why. He's still slowing here And Hansen's going to go straight through into turn 25. This is where it unraveled for him a lap ago, but Claudio's still going slowly.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just had a slowdown there and he had to try and get it off quick enough. Or... no, it can't be fuel just yet. Can it? No, he's not chugging out or anything. So I think he may have had a slowdown there. But that Pedal Hanau is in behind Heath Ollinger. Brian Dudkowski's in Bryce. Bryce for a pro, not really gained a lot of time here. No,
not really. I wonder whether some of these will be readjusted at some point in the future. But either way, no, I haven't heard of any plans for that at the moment. As Pano Hanau moved through to 12th, Ollinger now passed by Bryce, and Dudkowski also gets past Ollinger as well. So a few drivers getting past Ollinger there. On that point about slowdowns, by the way, I'm not actually sure around where this circuit you could really get them. Doesn't seem like a place to me that you'd be getting lots of them.
No, definitely not. I don't think you would, unless, of course, you're looking at, I don't really know, 23, 24, 25, coming through 23 to 24, then cutting the corner. I'm not really sure, to be honest, how they would go about it. Castelline looks like he's had more drama, unfortunately. We've got 27 minutes to go. These guys in, some of the people coming in pit lane. Castelline is in pit lane, Modric and Marshall.
We're halfway now, by the way. So we just tick towards 27 minutes, 30 seconds to go. That will be halfway. So anybody going to this point will be taking on that relatively little amount of fuel, but we've not really seen very many pit stops. Top 17 still all out there. John Gardner, after all, in 18th, has only been in on the first lap to repair some damage. Same for Jim Sawyer. Jeff Atkins was in there fairly recently, though, and so he probably can go to the end of the race. Only pitted 3 laps ago or so. We'll see where he comes out, actually, Atkins. Because don't forget, he was right near Hanau before, and this is where Hanau is now in the field with Bryce and Dudkowski in this group.
Yeah, he is. Penal's in 12th for the moment, 7th in class. Through the left-hander it goes. 26 minutes on the clock. Vester's in pit lane, but again, he's had a little bit of a rough one. As Vesta, but it's going to be, are we really not worried about the pros? Do we think the pros are going to be where they are? Do we think anybody's going to be able to catch Valuna?
I think Van Roy's giving him something to think about at the moment. You know, he's not right behind him, but he's just under 3 seconds behind at that sort of distance where you think, well, he just turns it on a little bit here. There's a chance, but at the moment we're seeing a 3-second gap, and it is only opening up. It does look to me like Valuna is the favourite, and to be honest, I think he deserves to be, because it looks like, to me, he's done the most practice of anybody, plain and simple. But I think, it'll be interesting to find out here just whether Van Roy's got anything to show here just before the end.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see whether or not he can close back up. Robert going past pit lane again on that one.
He's starting to pop up quite a lot, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying to see if I can correct that and got that to show, but I don't really think we were able to at this moment in time. No, my luck, I'll probably touch something and it will break.
I'm not sure where he would have got one from, Probert, to be honest. The walls aren't easy to hit round here, as Bradley Lovings comes into the pit lane meantime.
Doesn't look damaged.
No, exactly. Looks absolutely fine to me.
Strange on that one.
Very strange. Well, anyway, Bradley Lovings comes in along with Tidwell. It's clearly a strategy from those two. They've been running together. Quentin Price is also in the Lamborghini here today. All 3 of the Lamborghinis pitting in together. So maybe they've decided as a collective that this is the best strategy at the moment. As they start 9 laps to go, by the way, the leaders. I'm pretty sure anyway they've just started 9 laps to go with Valuna. Can't remember how many I predicted at the start of the day, to be honest, but that might have been wrong. We'll wait and see. But yeah, these guys have got to pit at some point. It's just not going to be in the next few moments, you wouldn't imagine. It's going to be in a little while, because, as I said earlier, I reckon this track is not too strong for fuel consumption. You know, they won't be burning it too much. They'll be pitting very, very late in some cases.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I think they'll have to just basically sit there and see how they get on and whether or not what the situation's going to be. Because I'm going to be more excited to see whether or not anybody would have done any fuel saving on that, whether or not they would have sat there and had a go at trying to save some. But again, as we said, you're definitely not going to save a lap. So I think for a minute, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be such a good idea for some of these guys to have a go. But maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Maybe they've tried it or not.
It's Adam Hansen's closing in, meantime, on Cody Bont for 6th position, with the 2nd place in the Pro-Am class in this race at the moment. Justin Dusvay still leading, though, 4.5 seconds his advantage, and that's a very healthy margin for him to have at this stage in the race, that is for sure. It's a little bit wide from Probert there, just kicks up a little bit of dirt. Hansen continues to close in. He's less than a second behind now. And maybe at this stage in the race, because we're about that half distance, maybe he's going to decide, well, there's not much point in me trying to make this overtake on the circuit, really. With pit stops looming, I might as well go and take my pit stop now. So let's just look out for Hansen here and whether he comes down pit lane.
Yeah, whether or not he will. Hansen, we're going to try and find out here. I think 7th at the moment. Not too far off Bont, though. Would he want to get past Cody Bonte first before he goes in, or not, do you reckon?
I don't see the point, because he's going to have to cost himself time making the overtake. So I don't see why he would bother, really, when there's a pit stop coming up where he could just as easily make it instead. Let's see what he decides to do here, because this is the first lap he's been properly close towards the end of a lap where it's actually feasible for him to come into pit lane and actually make sense. Oh, and Bont comes in. Well, I wouldn't have followed him, but there we go. Bont comes in. That's a change of what I was thinking. And Hansen follows him in as well. So it's a proper race down pit lane for them.
The difference is does Hansen, did he have the fuel to go one more lap?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Did he have the fuel to go one more lap? That's the question.
That's true, but I would have thought the answer to that is yes. I don't know, though. I don't know. Let's see as they come to a stop now. No tyres, obviously. They come out too cold for that these days. And who's going to win the race out of pit lane? Not going to be too long of a fuel stop here for these guys. As there they go out immediately together, and they're going to be side by side here. How are they going to work it out? Because it's a single track exit. It narrows very quickly as well. Hansen's just got his nose in front, though, and he does make that jump in the pit lane. So it did end up being the right call in the end.
Yeah, I don't know if Cody really fought back on that one. Yeah, I don't know if he fought enough. I think he was out plenty of time to get alongside Hansen there. Just saying, that's what I reckon. I don't know. Never mind. Let's see what goes on. Penel Hanel has just lost a place to John Gardner in pit lane as well. That's for 2nd overall in the AMS. Gardner leading, Ollinger leading the way now with Gardner in 15th and Penel Hanel in 16th.
Yep, so...
Did you keep forgetting to push your button?
No, I'm just pausing, thinking. Yeah, Gardner is going to be a big feature here, because I believe he stopped... Well, I don't know anymore, because I don't have the data next to me anymore, but I think he left it a few laps before he pitted, which suggests to me that, yes, he did have trouble after the opening lap, but did he just wait long enough so that he could fuel and get to the end? Now, it will be a stretch and a long stint, but and maybe he can't make it after all. But if he can, he's right in this race. Faluna and Ben Roy, meanwhile, come into the pit lane. 35 minutes gone. It's about right. Maybe everybody's going to be coming in now after 12 laps, because the leaders have no. Tim Probert carries on, so he's clearly got the fuel for another go. But Faluna and Ben Roy come in. I would imagine they ran their tanks dry. I don't see any point in those pitting early.
Hayden Young also gone through. Expect to see Dos Face come in, and Claudio here. Unfortunately, we had to have a reset on the timing stuff, and it's wiped out a lot of it. But Dos Face, you going to come in? No. Trying to go again.
Yeah, so, well, he's using that lower fuel there with Hansen running down in 10th place. He will obviously be trying to do an undercut, but it's very difficult to do against a guy with less fuel on board. Faluna gets out the pit lane meantime. At 2.5 seconds is the gap to Venroy, who's gained a little bit there. Pit stop times between the two of them, 16.7 for Faluna, Venroy 15.8, so 9/10 quicker. And that's how he's closed the gap now to below 3 seconds. But still comfortable for Faluna with 19 minutes to go.
Yeah, it is at the moment. Faluna should take this win. But then again, as we said earlier on, it's deserved because he does look like he's the only one of the very few people that have practiced here. So fair play to him if he has. Probert now is, what, 45 seconds ahead of Faluna. Can he then be close to him when he comes out, though? That's going to be the question, isn't it? Surely, because Claudio way out got past him and Bont's got past him. So unfortunately for Claudio, that did not work out in pit lane. But can Faluna stay near Probert?
I think he'll be out in the lead here for Luna. I think that's going to be pretty easy for him to manage. Alexander Claudio, don't forget, was behind Hansen and Bont before that pit stop. It might even be a little bit closer, but he hasn't jumped them by doing this overcut and running that little bit longer on the fuel tank. So that is worth just thinking about. But Bont still is applying this pressure to Hansen. Now, these two would be very much better served to leave their battle for later, as Justin Dos Face is still running out there on his own in 3rd place at the moment. When he comes into the pit lane, I think then is the time to battle, maybe, depending on where he comes out, of course. But for now, they're running a different race to him, and they need to keep their lap time as quick as possible here, and that means cooperating between the two.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. I think they just need to leave each other alone, get on with it, and see how far they can get. Because if Dos Face has a run, and a nice clean run in and out of pit lane, with the fact that he is currently 55 seconds ahead of these guys, this could be Dos Face being in and out here.
Let's see, as Tim Probert comes in with 17 minutes to go. Are we reaching our limit now? Hayden Young decides to come in as well. Justin Dos Face will be next in line, and Bont goes through on Hansen. Hansen must have made a mistake there, because he wouldn't have, he must have run a little bit wide coming out of turn 22. Because you wouldn't, as I said earlier, you wouldn't necessarily provoke a battle between these drivers, but it's exactly what happened. Bont has gone through, and that's going to cost them even more time. Is Dos Face going to get out in front of them? He now pits into the lane.
Yeah, he does. These guys are the section, at the moment as well. Got a left hander to try and deal with. Dos Face still in pit lane. Not stopped as of yet. Young's on his pit exit. Faluna has gone through. Venroy's gone through. Probert's gone through. Now it's going to be, have they done the right thing here with these guys in the Pro-Ams, or have they left it having that battle and they've left it too late, and it's going to allow Dos Face to come in and out?
Let's see here. As he's on the exit already. He's going to be, he's going to be a long way ahead, isn't he? I didn't expect him to be jumped, but I expected it to be closer than this. Face out the pit lane. That is easy. Bradley Lovings is even behind him here. So Space in the top 5. There they are in the background. They might well decide with 15 minutes to go that we're never going to catch Justin Dos Face anyway. Might as well battle amongst ourselves. And Claudio's certainly close enough there to give Hansen a go on the way towards turn 1 if he wants to break super late. He doesn't this time round, and he stays behind again.
Yeah, Hansen now is going to have to go back with Bont once more. As you said, for these guys now, I think they can recognise that catching Dos Face might be over. So have a go at each other now. I don't see that. What are they at the moment? Claudio is literally 9.5 seconds away from Justin Dos Face. So do you then turn around and go, yeah, we ain't catching him, let's go for it?
Yeah, I think that time is about now. The limited amount of time we've got remaining here. I think that is the right call. We should have 5 laps to go, by the way, here as we cross the line again. Should be 19 laps in this race here today. Ryan Faluna's just making his way towards the back end of the lap now, but Yeah, these lap times are not quite quick enough to force an extra lap. It's going to be 5 to go. And Faluna's still in control of this race. With 5 to go, you start to understand that Venroy needs about half a second a lap, and at the moment, he's not quite getting that.
Yeah, he's not at the moment. It's 3:37.7, 3:38.5. So we got it over the last lap, but he didn't get it before then. 8 tenths he got, to be blatantly honest with you. So fair play to Venroy that time around, but he's got to keep that up and up and up and up and up. I think that's the thing. He's got to just make sure that he can continue to do this. Will he get close enough by the end? Well, we're going to find out, and they've only got 13 minutes to go.
Absolutely. This is going to be the big lap time here to really see, because it also starts to set a target for Venroy for what he needs to get per lap, and that can be quite a daunting prospect for him. Here we go, over the line. 55.0 for Faluna, and for Venroy, it is not coming through. It says 3:37. That's not his last lap time. That was his out lap, but he came back out onto the circuit. So, yeah, not sure what that last lap time is, but that's effectively a target set to him. They can see it. Doesn't seem to count. You can see it needs a 54.5 at least, maybe quicker. But you know that is possible. 54.5 is very achievable. All of the top 4 have been able to do that so far, and Venroy's got the fastest at 52.9 so far, so he can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's just got to do it repeatedly. Lovins and Dos Faces here. I wonder if these two are going to go at each other, or is Dos Face going to use his matter between? He's just got to let him go, hasn't he? Because the other guys are not far. No, he doesn't let him go.
Well, he should be letting him through.
I think you're right. I think he should be as well. I think there could be a mistake there.
And now he will. I think Lovins gets a better exit off. He's got to let it go now. Outside for 5. They're still side by side. Well, it's 8 seconds, so he does have some time to play with. And don't forget, this series is scored on an overall points basis and not based on your class. So there is a point on the line here, but it's not worth it, surely. Lovins goes for the crisscross out of turn 6, and he can't get through around the outside at 7. This is tricky. Dos Face remains in the top 5 again.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea, though. I really don't know if this is a good idea, battling with Lovins, because the other cars are not miles back. So there's Cody Bont there. And there is Dustin Voss, Dos Face a little bit further up the road. The longer this continues to fight, of course, is that 7-second gap that they've got at the moment will start coming down. So they've got to be a little bit mindful.
Well, 7.5, yes, 7.5 it is now. Still a big enough advantage to be able to do this for the moment, but I would still advise against it. Misses the apex there a little bit as he comes through. God knows which corner that was. Can't tell, to be honest with you. I think it might be 20. It was 22. This is 23, 24. Then the old pit lane, or the alternative pit lane, I should say. Not on this circuit, is very old. And Dos Face is keeping it for the moment. But yeah, surely this can't last any longer anyway, or much longer anyway. Really, Lovins surely will have the speed here to go through in a moment.
Well, you would have thought that, but he stayed behind Dos Face for quite a while now. But maybe he hasn't got the pace here.
Well, he's not quite got the room to do it at this part of the circuit, but that is understandable looking around.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just wondering whether or not he's even got the pace in the first place for Lovins here.
Well, maybe, but let's see here. Just over 10 minutes to go. It's around the other side of the circuit where you're more likely to go through. This is Adam Hansen versus Alexander Claudio. It's the last place on the podium for the Pro-Am drivers, and Pro-Am has been such an amazing class to watch here in this race, been providing all the entertainment for us. Hansen's been leading, he's had his spin, he's dropped down. It looks like he might rescue a podium as well. 4 laps to go, right, by the way, when these guys get to the line.
Yeah, he's just past Claudio as well for Alan Hansen. So he's just past Claudio to move himself forward a position. But Lovins and Bont, Lovins and Dos Face are still having a go. Cody Bont.
Yeah, Lovins really close, actually. He'll go down the inside here, surely. Or will he stay behind by his own accord? No, he will go down the inside. Has a look. Dos Face gives him, well, I thought he was giving him the room. They're giving him the place, but no. Again, he stays in front. And, well, this is This is difficult stuff now for Bradley Lovings. He wants a top 5, and he's going to have to work for it.
He's not going to get it handed to him on the plate, unfortunately. Dosface is putting up a good old defense. But just there, I saw the yellow and black flash. Bont is coming a little bit. I don't know if he's coming down enough, though, mind you. I do wonder whether or not Bont hasn't quite got the pace to stay there.
Yeah, maybe not. I think, you know, the amount of seconds with this amount of time remaining is pretty steep as well. It would have to take a monumental side-by-side battle between these two for that to happen. And at that point, you're really saying to Dosface, what are you doing? we have said at some stages maybe you should let Lewis through, but maybe, you know, maybe we're on the little bit on the cautious side, to be honest. But Dosface is still doing this pretty comfortably at the moment, and he is not losing much time, and he's keeping an extra point for himself in the championship as well. So after all, this is not it's not turned out so bad at the moment for him, and he's of course really turning things around from where he finished last week, 20th place at Mid-Ohio. He's up in the top 5 here, having a great day in the Pro-Ams.
Yeah, he is, which is, you know, fair play to him, for Dosface to have a go. You might as well entertain yourself, right? If Lovins isn't really quicker than you, and you're not losing time to Cody Bont, which clearly, if we look at the groups, he isn't, yeah, put up a fight. Go for it. See if Tidwell can get through on him. Is he going to be able to? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Lovings even.
Yeah.
Not so bad. Yeah, Tidwell's found himself down in... he's Tidwell.
Oh, sorry.
That's easily done. Tidwell, speaking of which, is down in 5th place, by the way, as you can see there on the in the Pro-Am standings. Just over 7 minutes to go, and the leaders have already gone over the line, so they've started 3 laps to go, and these guys will be 3 to go in a moment as well. Lovings continues to try and find his way past, but he is struggling to do this for the moment, showing maybe for the first time that this circuit is truly difficult, a difficult one to overtake on. I think so far I've been very impressed by this circuit this afternoon, about the way it's been able to race amongst these drivers, but first time where we've really started to see the opposite of that.
Yeah, we kind of knew this was coming, didn't we? We kind of said that, you know, the nature of the circuit, and they get spread out, this is what we're going to have. And there's Claudio still in behind at the moment. And this kind of is what we've got. We've still got this. There's still a couple of situations. Lovin, as you can see, Dosface, Claudio's there with Hansen, and maybe Dudkowski with Atkins. But other than that, it's not really got a lot going on. And, you know, we kind of knew it would happen here, though. That's the problem.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's 6 minutes to go now, down to turn 6. Hansen dives for the apex a little bit on the defensive. Claudio on the exit, just 4/10 behind, less than, as he makes his way out of the corner. Justin Race seems to have found himself off the circuit. Curtis Matthews now up in the top 20. Race a Pro-Am driver further down. Curtis Matthews looks like he's got the meatball next to him here. I wonder whether he was involved maybe with William Race at all. Nope, probably not. Just goes for a spin. Oh no, he doesn't. Does he collect him through here? Oh no, he does. 2 of them with damage, and that's exactly why we saw on the tower what we did see. A spin for Race, and Curtis Matthews couldn't avoid.
Yeah, unfortunately for them. There you go. Matthews with the meatball. So he's going to have to go into the pit lane. He has just gone into the pit lane. Not going to be a happy bunny, Curtis Matthews. Because that really wasn't on his own fault.
No. And that's his second meatball there, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he got one from the lap 1 incidents that he was an innocent bystander in as well. He's towed back to pit lane now, and that might well be the end of that for Justin Race. It is the end of that as well. Already retirements for Pete. No, Peter Castelline is still running actually, down in 25th. Rick Modric and Nicholas Marshall, I don't think even started this race. If they did, they didn't go very long into this one, unfortunately. And they are the retirements as these two chase each other off the road. Justin Dosface and his wheels off in the grass, and all 4 in the grass there for Bradley Lovings.
Yeah, not ideal. not ideal for either of them. It's that tunnel vision, I think. That I'm not surprised, to be plainly honest. I would have tunnel vision driving around here. I would look to try and follow the person in front as well, because you just sort of lose your direction. Do you know what I mean? Lose where you're at, and yeah. Nick Marshall's internet died, apparently.
Ah, that'll be why. That's a shame for him.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back next week at the Algarve round on the 3rd of August as we come out of the final corner. What a run this is for Lovings. This is his best chance he's had so far as he pulls onto the penultimate lap now. This is a big chance for Bradley Lovings up into the top 5. He's going to go surely. Late-ish on the brakes. No, not as late as Justin does face, who goes round the outside through the first part, inside at the second, and if he can dive for the apex here, he'll keep the place. But no, it's too wide, and he can't cover Lovings off quite enough here. Lovings on the inside through turn 3. He'll get the inside at 4 as well, and a better exit. If Josh Face can keep the overlap, though, for turn 5, he's got a chance, but he can't. And Lovings finally makes his way into the top 5 on the penultimate lap of this race.
Yeah, great job from Bradley Lovings. And he only lost that place because Dos Face went in the pit lane. Question is did Dos Face put enough fuel in? He's got the same pit stop time as most of the others. So now for Lovings to try and open up the gap here. Claudio's closing back down on Hansen. It does look like Dos Face may take that win in the Pro-Ams. He should do, really. Faluna's got the AMs and Ollinger's probably got the... Faluna's got the Pros and Ollinger's got the AMs.
Yeah, those two have been pretty sewn up for a while, though. Faluna's been kept very honest by David and Roy here. Just 3 seconds the gap. With 2.5 minutes to go, by the way. They're about to start the final lap of the race. They're in the final sector now of their penultimate lap. So this is close between the front two. But Faluna's kept you at bay rather well. And this has been a good start to the season for Brian Faluna as well. He finished 5th last week at Mid-Ohio. 18 seconds off the victory, but that doesn't tell the whole story at all about his week of racing. He drove very, very well indeed. Unfortunately, the incidents and accidents of the day just brought him back a little bit down the field, but drove really well after that. And with 2 minutes to go, looks like he's going to win this race as well. Devin Van Roy will be the series leader with 2 wins in a row. 2 seconds in a row, I should say. But Brian Faluna's win certainly puts him on the map as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But Faluna does look like he's done the most amount of practice here, mate. Doesn't he? You know what I mean? He's done a lot, and that's the thing for Faluna. He was flying in qualifying. He's been flying in the whole race as well, and fully deserved. I think that's the thing. What more for him does he need? He's gone and done a successful job. Come into the race, took pole, and away he's gone. Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely was. And indeed, the racing has been good around here as well. As Alexander Claudio has gone off the circuit, that will settle our battle finally down between Hansen and Claudio down the field. We'll see what happened to him, whether there was actually anything to do with Hansen or whether it's this very difficult left-hander. We've seen this time and again, just on turning, bit of understeer, then a bit of oversteer on the power actually through turn 29. That's been a corner where people have come unstuck here today.
Yeah, definitely, but that's because of the nature of the corner. I think that's the thing. It's a long looping corner, isn't it? 28, 29. And he's got to feather the power as such. And sometimes feathering the power doesn't always work. Here, as Brian Faluna is on the final lap of the race.
I think Bryson Adkins might have had similar problems here because Tukowski went past them both at the same time. I wonder whether they've been into trouble here through this race. So Bryce is actually behind Oliver. Goes through on both of them. There's an extra couple of points for Heath Ollinger. What's happened to Atkins and Bryce here?
Well, Bryce, right one, has done this.
Seems like there's the spin off into the outside of the circuit. So then what happens? Does Atkins do the same? Does he get collected as he's rejoining? Oh no! Bryce tries to rejoin. He slides on the way back in and he hits Atkins, who makes pretty hard contact with the wall.
Ow! That would be a bitter pill to swallow. Especially on the final lap. You've got to admit that would be very tough to handle.
Yeah, that's a real shame for Atkins. Bryce has to come into pit lane as well. They may well have a very long last lap in front of them, actually, as if they come back out onto the circuit, and Bryce will do. So last lap for him will secure his position just about, but it's going to be a lowly one, unfortunately. Well, for Brian Faluna, it's going to be the best position possible. It's going to be a race win here at the Bend Motorsports Park. Just over 2 seconds is gapped of David Van Rooij as he comes out the final corner to win round 2 of the OGRL Coffee Cup in Season 4. Van Rooij threw everything at it, including himself off the road at the final corner, but the final gap, 2.6 seconds. Great win for Brian Faluna.
Yeah, Dos Face is going to come over and wrap up the Pro-Ams. Great job by him, by the way. Got to give the guy some props for that. Great pit stop, brought him out in front. And then Dustin Dos Face just goes and does an absolutely stellar job. So fair play to them, for him as well. So yeah, successful on that one. And then behind that, obviously Heath Hollinger winning the AMs.
Well, he's got quite some time before he comes over the line, but Dustin Dos Face will do in just a couple of moments' time. Big battle with Bradley Lovings today, who just stuck himself past Dos Face before the finish here. But the Pro-Am win is going to go to Dustin Dos Face. 20th place last week, but it's a 6th place finish this time round. And more importantly, the Pro-Am win as well. Dustin Dos Face with a great race here and actually takes the class by over 10 seconds in the end.
Yeah, great job from him. And then, of course, in the AMs, it's going to be Mr. Heath Hollinger. 2nd week in a row that Heath has won the AMs. So great job from him.
Absolutely. In the overall standings, he was well outside the top 20 in the race of the season at Mid-Ohio, but he's going to finish 14th today and get some big points to his name as well, and start his championship charge as well, you would imagine. Looking around at some of the others, obviously some of the others who would have challenged him, like John Gardner and JT Sawyer, have had some trouble today, but nevertheless, Hollinger's taken advantage of that, and he'll be a big contender this season. Yeah,
I think he will. I think he's going to enjoy taking this AM victory, to be honest, at a very, very difficult track. And I think for Heath, he's been here a while, hasn't he? And maybe it is time. Maybe it's time for him to shine and take a championship.
Maybe he will. But we're not going to know that for some time. For now, though, he is going to win the AM class here at the Bend Motorsports Park. And there will still be a few others to come across the line before the finish. So probably worth talking a little bit about the circuit itself and how it provided some good racing here today. I mean, 35 corners. You don't expect... And looking at the track map, I know we can't show you it, but looking at the track map itself, you'd think, wow, that is not going to be a circuit with very many overtakes. But there were some great battles here today, right up until the very end. And I think it was almost the perfect balance between it being possible to overtake, but also it being a real challenge to make a pass as well.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. There was a few people who really did struggle. Lovins was the obvious one, trying to get past Dos Face. That was a struggle for him. And I think there was probably a few others that may have just played follow my leader, like Cody Bont stayed in front of Hansen. Claudio was stuck through behind him for the first half of the race as well. So, yeah, if you did manage to get an overtake, then fair play to you, because not many people did.
Absolutely. Well, into the final couple of corners now for the final drivers in the race. Jeff Atkins and Tom Bryce coming across the line. A long time after the race winner. And it did a long time after time elapses, don't forget. They're nearly 5 minutes now, nearly an hour of racing for those two. But there you go, they get to the end on the lead lap at least. Let's have a look at the finishing results. Right, Faluna with 2.6 seconds over David Van Rooij. Tim Probert a few seconds further back with Hayden Young rounding out the next position. Bradley Lovings then a minute off the win, just holding off Dustin Dos Face, the Pro-Am winner here today. Cody Bont finished second in Pro-Am ahead of Adam Hansen, with Bradley Tidwell and Alexander Claudio rounding out the top 10 after Claudio's late to issue. Last week's winner, Quentin Price, finishes 11th overall ahead of Perno Hanno and Brian Dukowski. Heath Hollinger wins in the AM class ahead of John Gardner and Michael Vester, with Jeff Atkins and Tom Bryce the last ones on the lead lap. Over 3.5 minutes off of the win. 19th place went to JT Sawyer with Greg Tax in 20th. both 1 lap down. 2 laps down for Will Bailey, who didn't get off to the start. He might have disconnected early on, not sure. Curtis Matthews finished 3 down with Scott Carlson. Julian Race 4 down after his contact with Matthews later on. Peter Castelline finishing 7 laps down. And Rick Modric and Nicholas Marshall, who unfortunately had internet issues early on in that race. Let's have a chat to Heath Ollinger then, the AM winner here today from the Bend. Congratulations, Heath, on the win and a 14th place overall. I mean, a great result for you, I'm sure, but a difficult afternoon nevertheless for everybody, I'm sure it was, around this circuit. Just tell us about how you feel to get to the end of this race at such a difficult and unusual circuit in so many ways.
Yeah, this one's about keeping it on the track, really. It's a difficult track. It's long, and a lot of turns that are blind, but keep it on the track. You're good. I did start dropping my pace down towards the end just to make sure. I saw that I had a little bit of gap behind and didn't want to risk it, so dropped some of the pace. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. This track in real life has to be amazing and a lot of fun to drive as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start to the season for you as well. 14th place here in this round, a win in the AM class. How do you think the first couple of weeks of this season have gone now that we've got the OGRL Coffee Cup back again for another season?
Yeah, just like last week, better than I expected. Probably don't really deserve that showing, I guess. I know John Gardner is fast, and he was catching me. I think he got caught up in that turn 1 issue more than I did, and put me out a little bit ahead of him, and he was playing catch up. But no doubt he will be winning races here very shortly.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on winning your class here today at the Bend. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to the OGRL guys. Love racing this league. Bradley and Michael, thank you for putting on this GT3 stuff. Then the BWE folks, my team that's really helped me get a lot better, working on some of the aggression that I need to add into my racecraft. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks very much for coming to have a chat with us, Heath, and congratulations again on the class win.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Heath Ollinger there, the AM winner today, just in time. Brian Faluna has got himself into the waiting room to have a chat with us as the overall winner here this afternoon. Brian, congratulations on the win. I've got to say, you look like the most well-practiced of our drivers that we had out there today. Had you put in a lot of laps before this race, and how well did you get to learn this circuit in that period of time?
Yeah, last week started practicing this track. It was very clear it was not an arrive and drive. And then I think Thursday or Friday started doing some laps, got on here with the Bradleys, ran some laps, and I got down, I think on Friday, I think I was down to 54. And then Saturday morning, I did more practice, got down to 53. And then last night at like midnight, I was practicing with Bradley's again. And I got down to a 52. And I told him, I said, I think a 51 is not impossible, but it would have to be an absolute perfect lap. And I felt like, yeah, that was about as perfect as a lap I think I've ever driven in any sim ever.
Wow. That's big, a big accolade. I mean, did you actually start to almost enjoy this circuit by the end? You're just talking to Heath Ollinger, the AM winner there, who said, circuit has actually quite a nice flow to it. I think I've never driven it. I think it looks a bit unusual. How did you find this, which I guess it still is, but how did you find it to drive in terms of how you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed the flow. It took a while. At first, I did not like the track, but then the flow slowly crept on me. And it's going to sound maybe sacrilege to some folks, but it reminds me a little bit of Suzuka with the flow. Fast, flowing corners, quick change of direction. Like Suzuka is my absolute favorite track. And like the more I drove this, I was like, okay, I'm starting to like it. 3 minutes is a long lap, but it was very enjoyable. I will not lie. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on this track, so we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think you might be right. But congratulations on taking the win at this venue nevertheless. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Definitely a shout out to my beautiful, delicious wife, who deals with my hobby here. Shout out to David, keeping me honest the entire race. Everybody else, yourself, the Bradleys, the league, like huge shout out to everybody putting this together. And I enjoy it each week. Definitely more so this week than last week.
Well, absolutely. Although top fives both times, in fairness, it's not been a bad start. That's for sure. Thanks for chatting to us again, Brian. We'll see you hopefully next week.
Absolutely. See you later.
Thanks very much, Brian Faluna, the winner here from the Bend overall. Let's have a chat to another class winner this time, though, Justin Dustface, who was the Pro-Am winner today. Justin, congratulations on Pro-Am victory. For a period there, it was pretty tight between yourself and so many other drivers in the Pro-Am class. What was that early stage of the race like, where you were really stuck in the traffic a little bit behind everybody, stuck behind Adam Hansen there?
It was stressful. I'm gonna tell you. I was at a buddy's birthday last night, and I went a little hard. Hungover this morning. I missed like the first hour of practice. I came in pounding energy drinks. I was just like, keep her clean. And I'm like still shaking because like I didn't practice any alternative lines on this track. And I'm with all these guys. And I'm just praying I don't crash. I don't want to ruin anybody's race. The secret is I didn't pass a single person this whole race. I don't think I did. I think I just didn't die. And it all worked out in the end.
It's a good point. I don't recall you passing anybody either. It's a good point, though, because just staying on the circuit, it does give you places around this circuit. There's no doubt about that. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about, actually, it was the opposite way round when Brad Lovings was trying to get past you. We were saying here that, you know, maybe you just sort of almost let him go for fifth place so that you can, preserve the class win. But you did, you made him work for it definitely towards the end. What was your thinking at that late stage?
Well, I didn't let him by. It was I had a big skill issue on the final corner, and he got a really good run down the front stretch. I messed up that corner, and he got me. You got to be a lot faster than somebody to like get around him. This is a hard track to pass on. I didn't anticipate holding him off for like 3-4 laps, whatever it was. So I felt good. I could keep a faster guy like that behind me for a little bit.
Absolutely, I'm sure. Well, congratulations again, Justin, on the win. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I got a new puppy. Her name's Mina, and she didn't poop in the house all day yesterday. So way to go, Mina. I'm proud of you.
Very good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting to us, Justin, and we'll hopefully see you again next week.
Hopefully. Take care.
Thanks very much. Justin Dustface there, the winner of the Pro-Am class here today. We will stay with the Pro-Am class, actually, with Will Bailey, who can also come to chat to us now as well. Welcome in, Will. Good to have you with us. Unfortunate for you, a couple of laps down finish here today. What happened early on in that race for you?
Oh shoot, I wasn't expecting you guys to. I was just keeping them company. My computer crashed during the warm-up. And so by the time I got back into the sim and got it going, because I'm also in VR, which kind of makes it a little more complicated. They were already going. I was already a lap down, and then I got a black flag because my pit limiter wasn't set because everything reset, restarting my computer. And so my very first lap out, I had to come back in for a pit, and then it was just kind of ruined after that.
Yeah, a lot of great start to the day, but nevertheless, at least you got out there for some laps. How did you find this circuit?
Oh, I love this track. It's kind of a handful, but it's a lot of fun. And I was doing really good. My pace was great. I had very few incident points by the end. I feel like I probably would have had a shot had I actually started, the race. But it is what it is.
Yeah. It is. Not much you can do about those kind of things. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh, I'd like to give a shout out to my boys, Bradley and Bradley. They did awesome today. I really enjoyed their liveries. They're looking good. They're doing good in their races. And my wife, she always lets me just do whatever I want, so she doesn't bother me about doing all this racing and practicing. And you guys for always putting on a good show. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for chatting to us, Will, even if you weren't intended to, by the sounds of it. Hopefully we'll see some better luck for you next week at Algarve.
Yes, sir. See you there.
Thanks so much. Will Bailey there chatting to us here at the end here today. Well, just about it from the Ben Motorsports Park today. Good round to this championship. You know, maybe a little bit lower on numbers than what we had at Mid-Ohio, but that's to be expected. Good to see so many drivers nevertheless taking this one up, because in the end it did provide some good racing around this very, very long circuit. I enjoyed that. Absolutely. Next week being the Portimao circuit in Algarve, the south of Portugal. That will bring us to the 1/4 distance already at the end of that day when we get to the end of that hour-long race as well. So make sure you join us for that one back in time with that one, same time, same place, with round 3 of the OGRL Coffee Cup for Season 4. For now, though, I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside James Parfitt, and that's it here from the Ben Motorsports Park. We'll see you again at the Algarve. Bye for now.